sea creatures, dynamic voyages, and artifact hunting, all blended beautifully into one faction, is what I wish I could say. But instead, we're given this. It's fair to say that Hunter's Call is lacking when compared to its other faction counterparts. Once given a singular update and then left in the dust, this faction has been left dormant. Now, you could make the argument that they just don't update it because people don't enjoy it, but people don't enjoy it because it hasn't been updated. Obviously, we could delve into the numerous amounts of concepts and ideas other people have, but in the official Sea of Thieves book, it expands on there being creatures. It is not the Fisher's Call, it is the Hunter's Call, and the game doesn't treat it as such. In terms of loot, the Hunter's Call is really only separated into 3 different sections: fish, the occasional cooked livestock, and gems. The only way you're really supposed to get any of these items is really self-reliant. Either you have to fish them up yourself, or you have to find the gems and decide to bring them to the sea post. There's never really been a set voyage for this faction. Or has there? In February of 2021, Sea of Thieves had their Festival of Fishing event. Each week throughout this month-long event, there'd be 7 different types of fish that players could catch and sell for different types of rewards like extra gold, extra reputation, or even doubloons. Which, if re-implemented into the game, would be pretty cool because that'd be an incentive for players to actually go fishing and get specific types of fish. But that's not really what I found interesting about this event. What I found most interesting was the Festival of Fishing voyage. Each week, Lorena would sell at the outpost a special fishing voyage that would then take you to one of the sea posts. When you get to the given sea post and talk to the Hunter's Call representative, they would then give you a new map. That map would be a random island depending on the region you're in, and instead of an X, it would be a circle, and the circle would be in the water where you need to fish. Now, to my knowledge, the fish that you'd fish up in the circle wouldn't sell for any extra gold, but it's more of to complete the accommodations that were given with the event. Now, I see no reason why Sea of Thieves couldn't re-implement this voyage with, I don't know, maybe different types of fish, or maybe even trophy fish, just fish that were gonna sell more than normally fishing at that spot. This isn't necessarily asking for them to make something new, but rather re-implement something that was already in the game at one point. Maybe they could go as far as adding like some kind of fish board that tells you what fish are selling the best at that time, and you could get double rewards or increased rewards for that type of fish. I mean, coming from someone that is Hunter's Call 50, Hunter's Call is the hardest grind in the game, in my opinion. Even if you're selling every single gem you get to hunters, you still have to go out of your way to go to the outposts, and it still takes a really long time, especially when you get to those last 10 levels. Not to mention that it's the only faction in the game that doesn't have its own emissary flag, which I honestly find really dumb because I have a feeling if you ran into a level 5 emissary Hunter's Call, that would be quite an interesting fight. But rounding back to my original point, it's not the Fisher's Call, it's the Hunter's Call. The book goes on and talks about crabs, different types of snakes, boars, not pigs, and just numerous other animals that have yet to be implemented in the game. And a lot of them have different types of variants, almost how the Megalodon does, with being different colors, different difficulties, therefore should be selling for more money. I mean, it's very apparent that the ideas are there. Rare has thought about them. It's a faucet they have definitely left untapped. But what if we expanded on more than what's just in the book? What if, upon killing certain Megs, they drop some kind of, I don't know, relic, like their eye or their tooth, and then you can go and turn that in for a special accommodation and even more money? Or even different types of Kraken. That's definitely a thing Rare has thought about before, especially if you already look at the concept art they made for the Kraken. I wouldn't really think of these trophies or relics as of something that would drop every single time you kill one of these sea creatures, but rather something that almost works in like a higher form of Hunter's Call quest. Now, bear with me here. What if you got a certain quest that would tell you to go to a certain direction of an island, last seen southwest of Wanderer's Refuge, and you go there and actually fight either a specific Megalodon, Kraken, or even some other random sea creature, and then you get that relic from it, turn it into the Hunter's Call for rewards, different cosmetics, doubloons, money, you know, anything that can make you go out of your way to find different sea life and make the ocean just feel more full. You could get your accommodations for completing the voyage, but until you actually turn in that relic, you don't see any of the money, which gives other players opportunities to counter, which I think Hunters doesn't have to be a PvE faction. It can be something people fight over. And I do think if they added this type of voyage, it should be exclusive to people that are higher tier in Hunter's Call. So I don't know, maybe 35, 40 and above. Just how there's an Emporium ship set for the Shrouded Ghost, there could be unlockable ship sets that you get from trying to kill the other Megalodons and turning in those trophies for each variant, as well as Kraken. It doesn't have to be just Inky Kraken. It could be different variants of the Kraken. Also, not to mention, I think with these different variants of the Kraken, the difficulty should be more than just it leaves more holes. Like, it has different abilities, it has different attacks, and you're more prone to sinking if it is a higher variant. But overall, I definitely think Hunter's Call is a completely untapped faction, and there's endless possibilities of what they could do with this faction, and I think they just need to act on it. Because at the end of the day, people want action. They want to fight. They don't want to be sitting fishing. Although I'm one of few people that actually enjoys fishing, I will admit, after a while it gets boring, and I strive to do more with that faction. I see a world where people are watching the fish board, trying to camp different areas of the map, waiting for people to get fish. People just, you know, coming together for encounters like different types of Kraken and stealing all the loot and plundering it for themselves like a pirate or whatever. But these are just my goofy ideas. So let me know what you guys think. I like hearing what you guys have to say. And Rare, it's your move, man.